Everyone seems to have problems with Formula 1 this year, and many are complaining. From fans to numerous news outlets to even drivers that are speaking out about this.
It's a bit conflicting because I don't really enjoy to drive the car, but I do enjoy working with all the people in the team and from the engine department as well, so yeah, I swapped the simulator for my Nintendo Switch and practicing a bit of Mario Kart actually. Finding the mushrooms is going quite well. The blue shell is a bit more difficult, but I'm working on it.
Here are just a few of the things that have been said so far. But to fully understand a problem, first we have to understand what is the cause. So that's the purpose of this video, to understand. First, we have to know the main changes from last year to this year. The cars are very different from last year's, but most importantly, the power unit. And that's the key. In 2025, 80% of the power unit corresponded to the internal combustion engine, while only 20% was electric. In 2026, we were facing a 50-50 split between the combustion engine and the electric portion of the power unit. Now, how does this translate on track? This new hybrid power unit is in many ways much more limiting than the previous one. The combustion engine produces steady and continuous power, as long as you don't run out of fuel, that is. However, the electrical part of the engine is not as stable. It never really has been. Last year, when the electric portion made up only 20% of the power unit, we already saw how after being used as a boost, it was quickly drained. This year, although the energy is quite similar, the power output is much greater. Yes, more power. And although that sounds exciting, more power means that the same amount of energy is deployed much faster. This electric energy, which now constitutes 50% of the power unit, can only be used in very strong and abrupt boosts of energy, which maybe isn't the most useful. This means that what last year worked as a boost of energy throughout the race here and there is now a core part of the power unit. And by core part, I mean literally half of it. So now half of the car's performance is brief, abrupt, and temporary. This is extremely limiting for the drivers who now have to focus at all times on managing the battery. It's not smooth, it's inconsistent. And I think that's why drivers don't like these engines as much, because it's frustrating for them. They have to constantly deal with battery deployment and they can't go flat out the same way they used to, because now half of the engine is simply incapable of providing the steady flow of energy that that driving style requires. Battery management becomes a burden they have to handle every lap. So, if the main problem is the battery deployment, then our next step is to understand how this battery recharges. The electric system has also changed in how it recovers energy. In 2025, we had the MGU-H, a system that recovered the heat energy from the turbo. It was very complex and expensive. This year, it's the MGU-K, where energy is regenerated through braking, or coasting technically, but mainly braking. The issue is that there are only so many braking zones on a circuit, so you most likely won't be able to recover the energy as quick as you spent it. What the MGU-K system does is convert the kinetic energy generated during braking into electricity. That electricity is stored in the battery. During acceleration, when this energy is deployed, it's sent back to the wheels, giving the car a strong but brief boost. In theory, splitting the power 50-50 between the combustion engine and the electrical part isn't a bad idea. It could work. The problem is that there are too many technical and rule limitations that make it really difficult in practice. The battery simply isn't strong enough to provide energy for a full lap. At the same time, the rules about how energy is recovered push drivers to save energy by lifting early off the throttle, or in other words, coasting, and by recovering energy even when they are still accelerating at the end of the straights. This creates a very strange effect. The car reaches its top speed very early on the straight, and then instead of maintaining it, it kind of goes down. as the car loses its electric boost. So while in 2025 drivers could allow themselves to be focused on tire management and how to coordinate that with being able to push flat out going fast without compromising the car, now it's all about energy management and how to carefully and methodically deploy it. Which, to be honest, sounds less fun. And now I think I understand why drivers are so unhappy. Because essentially the nature of racing has gone from straightforward and dynamic to something much more tedious and complex. And not complex in an exciting and challenging way, but in a more annoying way. And while I'm sure drivers will get the hang of it and adapt to these new cars and these new ways of racing, I am also sure I will forever miss what we lost. Anyways, thanks for watching once again. I hope it was somewhat useful or at least entertaining. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.